Okay, so now it's recording. So if I have a line and I have another line, those most likely have the same slope. So they will, I haven't even shown you any yet, I don't think, that have no solution. I'll show you what happens if they do. Have anybody run into no solution on Delta Math?
I don't think they do.
Okay. There's a way for them to have absolutely no solution. Do y'all see what I mean? But girls, look, if they have any kind of different slope, they're going to intersect sometime, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what we're looking for. One way to get it, there's 4 or 5 different ways to find that solution, and as an algebra student, you need to know all of them. One day, you'll, after this test is over, you'll pick and choose. In fact, there's usually a section of this test that I say solve by elimination, solve by graphing, solve by substitution, later on solve by something called determinants. But there's usually even a section on this test that says solve, and you can pick which one you want, okay? You may wonder, like Margot was asking, like what's on the test. We started with y equals mx plus b, writing equations of lines and graphing lines, because you can't do all of this if you don't understand all of that, okay? So when I'm talking about slope, I need you to fully understand what I'm talking about. Parallel lines have the same slope. All right, now, anyway, I'm actively looking for that point where they intersect. Elimination is telling you that one point where they intersect, and it fits in both equations, okay? Yana, question before I go on?
Oh, no, you answered it. It was just
Okay.
about if you were going to give us those topics for the test, but these are.
Okay, so let's look at these two. Let's go to Delta Math. And close all your computers. You don't really need them open. Might get a couple of volunteers during the class to come up here and type into this computer once we get started in something. Okay, so let's go to let's go back to elimination. All right, level 2. In fact, I ought to do the other one because the other one you can watch me work and I don't have to like try to write, all right? Oh, this is a really good one. This is as hard as it can get because you can always decide whether you're going to get rid of your x's or your y's, and sometimes it's easy to just turn a 3 into a 6 or a 5 into a 10 or a 7 into a 21. Right now, I don't see a way to turn 5 into a 6 or a 3 into a 5, vice versa. I'm kind of stuck. And actually, these have different signs, and these already have different signs, so it's sort of a toss-up whether I pick the x's or the y's right now. Now, hopefully on your homework and your quiz, you realize sometimes one was far easier than the other, depending on the setup of the problem, okay? So Maria, you pick. You want to get rid of the x's or the y's? All right, so she picked the y's. What number can you get both y's to be, Bailey? 15. Excellent. So what you'll do that I've told you, you'll draw a little arrow and put a 5 on it. Or you could do a box. Victoria's doing that in her work. Then that way I know. One thing that I've talked to a few of you about, you've got to make sure you distribute it. Some people are just giving it to the first one and things are messing up. So the great thing about Delta Math is it just changes it for me correctly. You have to be careful. All right, so Bailey, we're trying to get them both to be 15. What do I do to the bottom one? Bailey? 3. Okay, she didn't need a negative 3. Sometimes I might need that, but right now they're going to have different signs. Okay, now I'm going to add. I have 15x. And positive 45. All right, and if I solve x is 3, I'm kind of moving fast. I'm not really trying to teach you elimination right now. I'm going to show you something else with this. Y'all know the program. If I got this far, I probably am doing it right.
Yeah.
Now to find y, I fill into either one of these two. I'm going to do it in my head, which you shouldn't do, and I hope I get it right, but I think it's negative 6. You should do it on a piece of scratch paper. Okay, so I didn't do it right. All right, so let me try again in my head. 3, 2. All right, 6 times 3 is 18. Oh, it's negative 3. All right, so my point, x goes in the front, y goes in the back. All right, so the answer is 3, -3. All right, now let's look. I'm going to put these equations in Desmos. 6x plus 3y equals 9. We're going to start over with a new method. 6x plus 3y equals 9. Gabby, do you know how to turn off the air conditioner? I couldn't figure it out. Okay. Girls, you should be able to graph this, but right now there's a few different ways you could graph it. Most of you would want to get it in y equals mx plus b form so you could graph it. Okay? There's other ideas. You could like pick out points and stuff, which we'll talk about. The other equation was -5x minus 5y equals 0. Thank you, Gabby. -5x minus 5y equals 0. All right, now do y'all see where they intersect? Everybody needs to be looking. All right, are y'all looking? All right, I see where they intersect, and do you see with your eyes where they cross, not your algebra? Okay, so you graph the line and look at where they cross. Do y'all remember the answer that I got earlier?
Yes.
3, -3. Okay, so what we're going to do today is solve by graphing. Okay, we're not even going to we'll have to do a little algebra to get our graphs done. But do y'all see that's the answer?
That's a lot easier.
Donna? It's not, though. It seems like it at first. Yeah. It's the worst of, I know 4 or 5 ways to solve, to find that point that we're looking for. Easy ones, it seems like the easiest way, but I'll show you in a minute. It can be horrible.
So in order to solve by graphing,
Hang on, I'm going to teach it. Just wait a second. A lot of your questions I'm answering, so just let me talk. That's why I say write it down in case you have a question, so that I can keep moving in this life. I don't want to keep starting and stopping. But Yana, certainly if I don't answer it, but I think I'm going to. So just let me keep talking. All right, everybody watch. I'm going to change one number. Y'all ready? Okay, do those intersect?
yeah.
Can you tell where they intersect? Because you are not going to have lovely Desmos on your, all computers should be closed. As in Gabby's computer should be closed. Even though you're such a big help to me. Thank you. Just give you a little more screen time. Hey girls, can you tell where those cross? And talk about when I carefully graph with a straight edge on graph paper, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I was saying, Margot. Now I'm like, oh, darn. I would have a better chance of doing this with elimination, wouldn't I, girls? Do y'all see what I mean? This one would probably be fractions, but we've done some fractions, not a whole lot on Delta Math. But y'all see, now given a choice, I'm like, I don't know what that is. That's like out 1, 2, 3, 4, not quite, like 3.7 down. I don't know what that is. Now, since it's Desmos, I can click on it, but I don't think we'd all feel like that we got it right just by guessing. Do y'all see what I mean? So I will say solving by graphing is so crazy important, but it's the least effective of the ones you do in Algebra 2. Because it's got to land on like a nice little square for you to tell what in the world it is. So why would I teach it to you, right, if it's the least effective? Because people are doing it all the time like this. I don't really know why, because I don't know much about medicine. It shows how blood glucose levels vary with the type of food eaten. But can you see that whoever is much more knowledgeable about medicine than I am, they probably want to know when these things intersect, they can present it in a slide. People can visually see what they're talking about. That around 120 minutes, between 30 minutes and 120 minutes, whatever they're talking about happens, and that may be enough for them to say. They're like, oh my gosh, after like an hour, blah, blah, blah happens. So do you see that these pictures that I just typed in, I didn't even plan like what I was going to say, but you see how many times people must be talking about when things intersect? And they'll show a picture, and it makes sense, like you can go, oh, well, in 2009, that happened. Okay? Even with this virus, I bet people are drawing all sorts of graphs to show us where things happen. Now I'm going to go to financial graphs. And I have some friends that are in different financial, and I know they do this all day long. Look at this, girls. I don't know what this graph is about, but can you see these are unfavorable patient satisfaction survey responses. So do you see where they intersect this line? I don't know what these people are talking about, but do you see? I bet they're going to point to that intersection, and they're going to talk about whatever happened with the blue and the green and the red. So intersections are super important. We're not going to click on financial graph analysis because I probably won't understand it anyway. But my point is, do you see that a lot of times people want to see it happen? If you really want to find it, though, that's what analysis are for, which may be you one day. So let's keep moving. All right, so look at your sheet that I gave you. Oh, this is, let me show you this delta math. That's not what I wanted. What in the world? Okay, I'm finally where I want to be. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to do, and we'll write it down. We'll do some of your worksheet problems together. And this is why I had to teach you that other stuff, so we're still finding, do y'all see there's one point in the whole world where those will meet, unless they're parallel. Then they can have no solution. If you're going to graph, you'll know they're parallel if they have the same slope. So we could run into that and say they never meet, okay? But y'all see most of us are going to have to get this in a y equals mx plus b form, okay, to have a hope of graphing it. This one I can do, -8. So I'm going to go to my y-intercept, -8. And it's kind of fun on delta math. And then I'm going to go down 1 over 1, I think was the slope. I'll double check. Yeah, y'all see I went to my y-intercept of -8. Y'all be looking. Put the worksheet aside. Your homework is not to do that worksheet. You're just wasting time. So watch me, okay? And we'll also, your homework is to do part of the worksheet, and I'm going to do part of the worksheet. So please don't work on the worksheet. You're going to miss something if you are. Okay? The reason I need to look for that is I would be the student that would be working on the worksheet. But anyway, do y'all see what I did? Now this one is why I taught you for it. Now I wish I had I was like able to write it on the QuickTime or on the notebook. But so then y'all can't see what we're doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for y. Okay? So I'm going to subtract 5x. And that gives me -2y is left. And over here, don't we squeeze this in next to it? Equals -5x plus 2. Are y'all okay with this?
Yeah.
And then divide by -2. Alright, so I get y is equal to a negative over a negative is a positive, and a positive over a negative is a negative. Hang on, Yana. So I'm going to go to my y-intercept of -1. You're going to click on it. And then I'm going to go up 5 and over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. All right, so I graphed both of them. Now, girls, couldn't we do this one by elimination? Elimination, though, is not super easy with this one. It's not super bad, but what would I have to do elimination? So brainstorm about that. Grazia?
Well, you would have to change it. So
Wouldn't Grazia want to get an x and a y on the same side?
yeah.
So that she could do elimination.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, now let's go see if we see our answer. Do you see how these are what we call in math contrived? That means they're rigged up, engineered to where you can see what the answer is. Sorry, I don't know what's happening there. Do y'all see it looks like that's the answer right there?
Yeah.
So it looks like the answer is -2, -6, which is what we also should get with elimination if we did elimination. So I'm going to try -2, -6. Okay, now, also, you're not going to have the pleasure of Delta Math and checking your answers and trying over. Somebody even texted me, you don't have my phone number, emailed me like, now how again do I check my answer? I can't remember. Was it Margaret? Okay. Our answer we got was -2, -6. Remember, Yana, write your answer down. If I don't answer it, we'll get back to it. If I fill in -2 for x, what should I get? If I get -6, I got it right, right? All right, so let's fill in -2. So I'm checking my answer. Y equals x minus 8. I'm real adamant that you put parentheses before you fill in for x. What are we filling for x? -2. What's a negative and a negative?
Positive.
What's 2 minus 8?
-6.
All right, so that works. Now let's fill it in here. 5x minus 2y. And what are we filling in for x? -2. And for y? -6. It gives me -10. Negative times a negative is a positive 12. I got 2. If I'd gotten the wrong point, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Do you see how it worked in both of them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's, I think you got the idea. So let's do some on your sheet. So have your sheet out. And I'm going to pick some to do. That's why I was stopping you from doing the sheet. Mainly I wanted you to listen. But also you might have been wasting your time and not doing your homework when you thought you were. Let's start with number 1. Yana, but let me get your question first.
Oh, well, I just wanted to ask, so if you want to graph it, then it's always best to get the equations into slope-intercept form, right?
Yeah, it depends. That's a good question. Let's go back to what we had. I don't want to give you too many possibilities because I don't want to confuse you. So I'm going to say yes, Yana's right. You want to get it into y equals mx plus b form, but sometimes you will actually have the lines like y equals 8 that goes just like this, or x equals 7 that goes just like this. Remember those vertical and horizontals? Okay? So you don't really have a y equals mx plus b. There is a chance you could do something like this, though, and I'm fine with it. Suppose you, sorry, I'm reduced to writing this way right now. Plus 4y equals 12. I'd rather get that in the y equals, I would rather you get it in y equals mx plus b form. You would subtract the 3x and divide by 4. But if you happen to be able to pick out some points, you can also draw the graph that way. Okay? Like for instance, I can see one of the points that would work here. If x is 4 and y is 0, does that work? What's 3 times 4? 12. And what's 4 times 0? 0 would just be 0. Doesn't that work?
Yes.
In other words, look what happened. Hang on, Margo. I'm going to tell you what I tell Yana. Write it down, or I'll let you make a comment in a minute. If y is 0, can y'all see what x has to be?
Yeah.
Now, what if x is 0? What does y have to be? Huh? If x is gone, if x is 0, what does y have to be? 3. So, I mean, if you can pull that off, that's fine with me. So this is 0, 3. This is so difficult. And so then you could go 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Y'all are laughing at me. 0, 3. And then you could draw your line, okay? I don't know if you even got what I just said. Most of you are going to get it y equals mx plus b form, but that's not a bad idea, just to let y be 0, and maybe you can see what x is. Let x be 0, and as long as we have 2 points, we could graph a line.
Right.
The students that get it in y equals mx plus b form, which is most of you, would get the exact same line. Okay? All right, so Margot.
How would we do this on a graphic
Boy, that's a great question. Let me hold off on that, but don't forget, it may even be next class that I'll talk about it, okay? But I would love to show you that. Yeah, there is a way to do it. I don't really want you to know it right now, but it'd be nice to, maybe if I get over it with you, I like for you to have technology skills. Margot, maybe I'll let you check your answer that way, but I'd still require that you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. This is where I so wish I had. Hang on just a minute. Solving systems of equations by graphing. Maybe I can pull this in. I don't know which one this is. I'll be lucky if I find it on this computer. Please be the right one. It's not the right one. It's similar. Oh, whoa, that was weird. Okay, just so you know, a miracle just happened. I didn't push anything, and it changed worksheets, and the right one came up.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know what just happened. Was anybody watching? Anyway, thank you. Yeah, you can go back and you can watch the moment. Wow. Okay, so this is exactly your worksheet. All right, so here we go. We're doing number 1. If you want your worksheet out, if you already tried it, you can check your work. But I would say do it this way. Okay, so on your sheet, this one's super easy. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time with the ones that are already in this mode. What you need is something straight, but you do not need a straight edge. Some of you might have one in your backpack, in your pencil case, but you could use the edge of a Kleenex box. I use the edge of a piece of paper a lot. And y'all know that I'm not real particular about things, but when I'm solving by graphing, I better be particular, or I'm not going to be able to tell where they intersect. You don't want to haphazardly do this. So I would get like a straight edge to connect my 2 points. Up here I have the added benefit of being able to have a straight line I can pull down from my menu. But what I would do is I would put my y-intercept on -3, and then I would go up 2/1, and then I would get out a straight edge, and I would do this to make sure I connected it as straight as I could. It's not a bad idea to keep going, find a couple more points. Can I still keep going up 2 and over 1? Do y'all see what I mean? All right, now I'm able to grab this really cool line here, and I can make my line go through those points. I'm going to have to adjust it a little bit. Okay, so do you see what I mean? You want to be real careful. Then I'm going to get the other one. My y-intercept is 2. And then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Well, look, I already know the answer. Girls, look. Did y'all see I just landed on it? All right, you might not land on it. And if you don't land on it, you should see the intersection when you get your line squared up correctly, connected. All right, so what's the answer to this problem? So if you want to write that on your sheet, the answer is 1, -1. What would you have gotten had you done this one by elimination? 1, -1. Do y'all see what I mean? All right, let's go to number 3. We're going to number 3. Are y'all with me?
This is the one where it all became. It's boring. It's boring. Okay. It is really bad.
It's fine.
And I'm not even British. Like I was like ancient British. What? What is that from? Apparently ancient British was closer to American accent.
Yeah, it was.
Why do we have American accents? It's like the people who ran the revolution.
Apparently, if you speak English in an American accent, it sounds like Trump.
What?
What does that mean?
Okay, girls, I am so thankful that you're interested in history, but now I'm going to do number 3, okay? Number 3, my y-intercept here is 1, and my slope is down 1 over 1. You might want a few, down 1 over 1. Please listen. I would get a straight edge and really connect those dots with a straight edge. Again, I can kind of cheat with this thing. That's pretty good. Okay, now x equals 3 is one of those that doesn't have, it has no slope to review. And so x equals 3 just is a line that goes through this axis at 3. And I should draw it a lot straighter, but can y'all see they intersect right here at 3, -2?
Yeah.
Okay, so my answer is 3, -2. So you can write that down along with your graph. Now what's funny about this one is I have students of all different critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
And so Maria, maybe you were doing it a different way.
Couldn't you just plug in the 3?
You already know, great. X is 3, write it down, X is 3, and then she filled it in here and she got -2. And so I want some sort of explanation if you didn't draw the graph, or at least you'd know you got it right. So Maria, you knew going into it, it was 3, -2, so you should see that happen. But I love that, okay? All right, now let's quickly go to one more. Let me pick a hard one, so let me scroll through here. A lot of these are in y equals mx plus b form, which is really good for you. All right, we're doing number 13, if I have time. And hopefully I don't have any lingering questions out there. If I do, maybe email it to me or stay after class if you don't have a class. So this one. All right, so I have to know previous information to be able to do this. I have to solve these for y. And so this one I'm going to subtract x. And here I'm going to subtract x. Okay, so I'm going to have y equals. Now why do I have y equals? Because these x's, if you could read them, cancel out. And I squeeze this one down in front. -x plus 3. It's a big negative. -x plus 3. And then a lot of times you have a number in front of y that you have to divide by, but I don't today. And then I would go to 3 and go down 1 over 1 and draw my line. Do y'all see that both of these I would have to take time to solve for y? Which I started my first example with that. I would subtract 8x to both sides, and so you should know how to do that. Somebody asked me right when I started, do you want to get them in y equals mx plus b form? Probably so. All right, so when you look online, it wouldn't be ultra mean of me just to say to complete the worksheet, which is actually what it says on the syllabus, but you always go by assignments. 30 of them is a lot. However, I think you'd agree a lot of them go really fast. You're just cranking them out. But I want you to be careful, so I'll just list a few for you to do that I think are important. Did I provide you the answers?
No.
Did y'all get them? At the back.
Oh,
Look
we
at
don't
them.
have to do all 30.
Do not do all 30, so how will you find out which ones to do?
Update your assignments.
Well, have I even put it there yet?
No.
Okay, so I probably won't say updated because I hadn't put it there yet. But yeah, used to me having to update it. Okay, so you'll see it on assignments. Bye, girls. Oh, did anybody have a question I did not answer?
We didn't finish this out.
No, I just set it up. You would graph them. Any questions I didn't answer?